Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. I firstly would like to say thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. That is a huge milestone for me, so a big thank you to everyone who has been supporting my videos. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how I made this Hello Kitty Totoro themed cake topper, so let's get right into it. I'm starting off with a ball of gray fondant, and with my thumb and my fingers, I'm just indenting the bottom of that, and this is where Hello Kitty's face is going to sit. I want to make sure that there's lots of real estate up top for where the Totoro design is going to be, so I'm making sure that my Hello Kitty is sitting fairly low, and I'm using my fingers to pinch along the edges just to kind of make it more defined. Once I was happy with that, I'm rolling out some white fondant into kind of a sausagey shape, and I'm going to press that down against my work surface before placing that into the little slot I've made. So this is what I had when I was done. It really helps to look at a picture of Hello Kitty just to get a good idea of her face shape. I want to get started on the body of my figurine because the top portion is going to be quite heavy, so I want to make sure that the bottom bit has quite a bit of time to firm up so the head doesn't smush it down when I add it. I've grabbed some more of my gray fondant and I'm rolling out this fat teardrop shape. I'm going to set that aside and then start on her face. I have two black dots for her eyes that I've just smushed down. They're kind of ovally shaped and they sit quite low on her face. So again, look at a picture, it makes it a whole lot easier. For her whiskers, I'm rolling out some black fondant into a long rope and I'm going to cut 3 whiskers for either side. When they were all on there, I didn't want any to be hanging off, so I just trimmed off the excess with my X-Acto knife. I added a teeny weeny little oval of yellow for her nose, and then her face is pretty much done for right now. To get started on Totoro, I'm rolling out some white fondant and then cutting out 2 circles using the end of a piping tip. I rolled out 2 little balls of black for his pupils, and then for the nose, as you can see, this was struggle city for me. It was so tiny, I just couldn't grab onto it with my fingers. Basically, you're just trying to shape a little triangle. Totoro's nose is quite long on either side, if that makes sense. So just keep kind of pinching it until you have this general shape. To give his face a little more expression, I rolled out a really thin rope of black fondant and then added 2 little pieces just above his nose to make it kind of look like he was scrunching up. Moving back to the body, I'm going to add a little tummy. So I've dyed some white fondant with a teensy bit of ivory food coloring, and then I'm going to roll that out and use my circle cutter to cut out a piece and place that over top and then just trim off the bottom with my X-Acto knife. Totoro has these little triangle shapes on his tummy, so I'm just using some black fondant for that and then shaping them with my fingers and adding 3 to the top and then 4 to the bottom. For Totoro's whiskers, I rolled out the black fondant the exact same way I did Hello Kitty's. I have 3 pieces for either side, and I let them sit for about 10 minutes before I added them to his face, so they wouldn't just flop against it, they would kind of stick out a bit. At this point, I'm ready to add the limbs to my body, so I've put my body on top of a cake pan with a little piece of parchment paper to keep it from sticking, and unfortunately this bit is a little bit off camera. I do apologize for that, but you can kind of get the gist of what I'm doing. I'm just rolling out some fat teardrop shapes and then flattening the very top for the arms so they're more flush with the body, they're not going to be bulging out, and then just 2 circles of gray fondant for the feet that I've just smushed down. I'm adding a skewer that's going all the way through my body with enough poking out for the head to sit on top of. I just stuck the head on there. I didn't use any water, but if you want the extra security, you can go ahead and do that. So this is what I have at this point. She's looking pretty cute, if I do say so myself. For Totoro's ears, I'm rolling out 2 balls of gray fondant into this long oval shape and then just tapering off the top and the bottom to a point. Using my X-Acto knife, I'm cutting off the bottom so that it's going to sit nicely against Totoro's head, and then I'm just cutting some triangles out of one side of each ear so it looks like a little ruffly fur going on. I'm inserting some dry spaghetti into each of those ears and then gently pressing those into the head of my figurine. I've cut out 2 circles of white fondant for the pads of the feet, and you could just leave it at this point. If you don't want to add any more and make it a little too much, you can stop, but I like the look of the little leaf on Totoro's head, so I'm going to add that, and I just have some leaf green fondant that I'm smushing down, and I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to cut out 4 notches in that. And then just using my fingers, I'm just rounding off the edges there just to make it look a little more leafy. I placed that on top of his head and then rolled out a little rope of green fondant and just stuck that on for the stem of the leaf. And lastly, to finish off my figurine, I'm adding the classic red bow to my Hello Kitty. So to make that, I've rolled out 2 balls of red fondant and I've smushed those down and then just blunted the end and placed those 2 together, and then added another little ball of red fondant and smushed that down. And then just using an extra piece of spaghetti, I notched little indents on either side. So this was the final figurine, guys. I absolutely love Totoro. As much as I love Hello Kitty, I love Totoro. I've seen it at least 100 times. So this was so adorable and I'm so happy I got to make it. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and give this a like if you enjoyed watching it. I will see you in the next video.